Get your ears wrapped around the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast. All the scoop you need to know from college basketball to the NBA and even March Madness. News of your rising stars. Topics on and off the hardwood. This is the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast.
Hello, all you basketball fans, and welcome to the GSMC Basketball Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Jeff Malinoff, and with me is my buddy, Mark Souza, the know-it-all of basketball. How you doing, my friend?
Don't give me too much credit, but thanks. I'm doing good.
I wasn't even like an arrogant thing. I was giving you a compliment.
You got to get out and vote, people. You got to get out and vote. This ain't a politics show, but you got to make your voice heard.
Why do you have to force people to vote? If they don't want to vote, they don't want to vote.
I'm not forcing anybody to vote.
You just said you have to vote.
Yeah. You have to.
You don't have to vote.
You have to eat, you have to drink water, and you have to vote.
You don't have to vote.
Well, you know what they say,
no
Jeff?
felony.
If you don't vote, somebody will vote for you. So, get out and vote, and let's talk basketball.
You may go out and vote if that is your choice. Anyways, we're going to talk about basketball. We're going to talk about every game from Saturday from yesterday, so Monday. And we're going to go over every single game in
every
details.
Single game? Do we need to go over every single game? There's like 30 games. Every single game. Maybe notable games. How about notable?
No, we're going to every single one. We don't have to talk about each one in length. We can talk about the main ones in length. We have to talk about each and every one.
Okay.
What if they're fans of one of the teams?
Take it.
We got to think nationally,
Take the wheel.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Or any other god that you pray to.
Yeah, this turned into a religion and politics show real quick, didn't it?
Anyways, moving on. We're going to start Saturday, November 3rd, 2014. Yeah, I said 14. We're going back 4 years. Let's go over every game in the last 4 years.
Yeah, right.
Let's go from 2018, November 3rd to now. We're going to start off with the Lakers beating the Trailblazers 114-110. And it was a good game for everybody. Mostly LeBron James, who had 28 points, 5 rebounds.
It wasn't a good game for the Blazers.
Well, Rajon Rondo, well, there was two guys that scored 30 points, Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. So it was a good day for them.
Gotcha.
You know who played 22 minutes and scored 0 points?
Is he on the Lakers?
He's a Curry brother.
Oh, Seth.
Seth Curry got 22 minutes and scored no points. 0 for 5 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3.
That's a very un-Curry-like performance for McCurry.
Exactly. I feel bad for him. Do you feel bad for him?
I don't.
He's living in his dad's shadow and his brother's shadow. It's really frustrating.
He gets to play basketball for a living. I don't feel that bad.
Yeah, okay. Rajon Rondo off the bench scored 17 points and had 10 rebounds, but only 6 assists. Very odd for him for not having a double-digit assist, because he usually has double-digit assists.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing else of note. Brandon Ingram had 8.6 rebounds. That was about it. Ball had 3.3 rebounds, 3 assists, so nothing special from him.
How many minutes did he play?
He played 19.
Man.
Toronto's 26, and Ball
seems
started.
Seems like something's going to change there, right?
It looks like Rondo's going to go back to starting.
Yeah, we'll see.
Going to the next game, the Nuggets beat the Jazz 103-88 to solemnly put them in the contention of a great team in the West.
They've had a really strong start to the season.
And this is before don't they have last time I checked, Isaiah Thomas signed with the Nuggets, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Has he played a game for them yet?
No.
He has still not played a game for them. And so when he comes back, he might add another boost to this team, no?
Absolutely.
And like everyone's contributing. It's not like one guy's doing great. Like the center for the Denver Nuggets had 16 assists.
Jokic.
Jokic.
Yeah, Jokic.
How insane is that?
He's really good. I mean, he's probably their best player.
But for a center getting 16 assists, that's unheard of.
It's today's NBA, Jeff. You got to adapt with the times. These centers can pass the ball like Anthony Davis, DeMarcus Cousins. They can all pass the ball. You got to pass the ball.
You got to pass the ball.
Inside out game, you know?
Yeah, inside out game, true.
So what's next? What's the next game on the slate there?
Next game on the slate is the Pelicans and Spurs. Spurs take it against the Pelicans, 109-95.
The Pellies?
The Pelicans. That's very rude.
Are they the Pelicans or are they the Pelicans?
Do you want me to just walk out of the room?
No.
Then stop saying lame jokes.
I thought that was a pretty good joke.
DeMar DeRozan again with a 26.9. He's been playing excellent for the last couple of weeks.
He has been.
Lamar Aldridge, again, a great performance. 22 points, 12 rebounds himself. Anthony Davis only had 17 points with 8 rebounds. Not really a game you would expect. But Drew Holiday had 29 points that game. It still wasn't enough to beat the Spurs. Spurs still looking like a playoff contender even without Kawhi Leonard, who everyone was thinking they wouldn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, that's definitely a popular team that people didn't have making it. You're right, absolutely.
Yeah. But do you see both these teams still making the playoffs, or?
I am surprised the Spurs have been playing so well. I am more confident in the Nuggets. I know that sounds weird, but I'm more confident in the Nuggets.
Oh, absolutely. Nuggets have been playing excellent.
Yeah, so we'll see. The Spurs, I have confidence because Popovich is such a good coach. But
Popovich is probably the best coach in the NBA right now, no?
And then the Pelicans, I don't know. It's hard for me to decide. I think the Spurs, I have the Pelicans finishing higher than the Spurs, but the Pelicans' poor recent run has...
I have them going 7th.
Yeah, I think I had them 6th in our preseason, but
maybe 8th.
They've really fallen flat after a hot start, so we'll see.
Rockets and Bulls is next. Rockets beat the Bulls 96-88, and they finally win a game. Took them long enough to win more than one game, and it was a good day for everybody. Harden had 25 points. Anthony had 17 points. Chris Paul kind of was there. He was mediocre at 7.6 rebounds, 8 assists. But those are the big three that you mainly talk about with that team. Bulls, on the other hand, just they look like they're going nowhere fast. Like Carter Jr. still looks good, 14 points, 13 rebounds. But this Bulls team, I don't see them going anywhere in the
top 5 pick.
Yeah, absolutely, a lottery pick, definitely.
Definitely a lottery, but probably top 5. What about that Pacers Celtics game? I think that was a big game.
We are getting to that. I'm doing this in order, sir.
Well, maybe order of importance.
Fine. Pacers Celtics. Pacers win this game by 1 point margin, 102-101. And it ended with a Gordon Hayward turnover.
Yeah. Oladipo hit a 3 and
kind of a costly turnover, no?
Definitely, but Oladipo hits that 3 to go up with 3 seconds left. They go by 1 point. So, big win for Indiana.
And he takes the game-winning steal.
Indiana's been impressive.
Celtics have not.
It's true.
18 points for Irving, 14 points for Horford, 14 points for Tatum, 23 points for Morris off the bench, and that was their best performance. And Gordon Hayward still coming off a bad ankle injury, so I'm not going to give him any guff because that's going to be hard to come back from. But Oladipo with 24 points, 12 rebounds, double-double for a shooting guard, which is pretty darn impressive. And he's been playing great. And Tyreek Evans comes off the bench with 17 points of his own, and he hasn't done much since his rookie of the year, in his rookie year.
Yeah. Celtics are still trying to find themselves. I think Gordon Hayward's trying to find himself. So I think it'll be a little bit longer of a transition period than maybe Celtics fans thought. But at the end of the year, they should be a top 3 seed in the East, I'm assuming. And they still are playing okay. It's just it's not as fluid as we've seen from them in the past. Yeah.
And next game we got is the Hawks in Heat. Sounds like I said the Hawks are in Heat.
Whoa,
Hawks and
that's weird.
Heat. I know. I said Hawks and Heat.
That got awkward.
Okay. You
Hawks and Heat. Tell me about it.
Well, there was a 32-point performance by Richardson from the Heat. Good for him. And there was also a Hassan Whiteside, non-existence with his 8 points, 8 rebounds. I mean, 8 rebounds is good, but 8 points, he claims to be a great player, but after that performance. Dwayne Wade off the bench, 19 points. Is it weird for... I know he's old in the end of his career, but do you think Dwayne Wade should not be coming off the bench? Or do you think it's right for him to come off the bench?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he'll play the same amount of minutes whether he's starting or not, so I don't know if it really makes a difference. If he's okay with it, then fine. So,
yeah, it is his. He has said he's going to retire at the end of this season. So. Trae Young had 24 points himself. Probably the only thing of note for the Hawks. Anything you want to discuss about this game?
Nope.
Okay, moving on. Cavaliers lose again to the Hornets, 126-194.
Cavaliers lose every day, every game. Cavaliers lose to who this day? Oh, the Hornets.
They lost to the Hornets. Kemba Walker had 18 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Jeremy Lamb had 19 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists to his credit. Not very much to go on. There was 5 players on the bench that had 10 or more points for the Hornets. That's impressive.
Yeah, everybody's just getting a good game against the Cavs nowadays, right?
Yeah, yep. And the loss of Kevin Love really put a damper on that team. Like the most points someone got off this team was J.R. Smith off the bench, and he had 14 points. The starters, respectively, had 9, 3, 8, 11, and 7.
And J.R. Smith is somebody who is probably going to be traded soon.
Yeah.
So,
and not one player had more than 10 rebounds.
Not even Thompson?
Thompson had 8. That was the most.
He's got to have more than that. He's in there for rebounding first and foremost.
Yeah, and rebounding helps win games. And when you don't rebound, you don't win games. Last game on Saturday was the Detroit Pistons and the Philadelphia 76ers. 76ers win this one 109-99. 10-point margin. Blake Griffin, 38-point, 13-rebound performance. Didn't really get much help from his teammates, however. His small forward Johnson from the University of Arizona, who's been a bust, in my opinion, is 2 points, 2 rebounds in 30 minutes.
Wow.
He went 1 of 7 from the field.
That's not good.
Blake Griffin had 16 free throws. He made 12 of them, but still, 16 is a lot.
Yeah.
Drummond, 8 points, 9 rebounds, kind of solid, but everyone else just had kind of a okay game. It was really Blake Griffin that really carried that team. Embiid with a monster 39 point, 17 rebound game. Once again, it was a center doing all the work. Would you call Marcus Fultz a bust right now? He's not been playing well.
Not yet. I think he's had a couple of good games this year. So,
yeah,
but he's struggling. Yeah.
Yeah. And Ben Simmons, 9 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, pretty good in his part. And that was all the games for Saturday. Let's go to Sunday, the 4th of November, for just a little bit before we go to break. We'll start with the Raptors and Lakers. How about that? Raptors win this one 121-107 in very convincing fashion. Serge Ibaka had a career day with 34 points and 10 rebounds.
No Kawhi, huh?
No Kawhi. Kyle Lowry on the other end had 21 points and 15 assists. So this team is doing just fine with
Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi Leonard, absolutely. Lakers, on the other hand, after this loss, that's pretty rough. LeBron James only with 18 points, 2 rebounds, 6 assists, which seems like very low for him. No?
Yeah,
especially
you expect.
on the rebound column.
I mean, you always expect.
The man's 6'8".
I feel like you always expect LeBron to finish a game with like 25 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists. 2
rebounds
minimum.
seems very small for him. So he should be getting more of those rebounds.
He partied it up with P. Diddy, though, after the game.
Yes, he did. And I think, my personal opinion, I think that's probably one of the reasons he went to Los Angeles, so he can sign with the celebrities and go for Hollywood.
More stuff to do in LA than Cleveland, huh?
Absolutely. I don't blame him. I don't blame him for that. It's a smart idea. Like, you got to look at, like, what was he doing in Cleveland during his off times? Probably nothing.
He was drinking wine with Dwayne Wade. I saw those old videos.
But the fact of the matter is, he went there for his future. He went there for the nice. It's where the celebrities go.
Must be nice to live in LA, right? LA this time of year is beautiful. It's like 75.
And that's where the celebrities live. And LeBron James is one of the biggest celebrities in the world. No,
he could be. And he could be in Cleveland right now, freezing. But would you call LeBron like one of the most famous people in the world? Oh yeah, he's especially athletes.
Yeah. That's why I think he went to LA.
I'd say he's one of the top 7 or 8 most recognizable human beings on the planet.
I don't blame him for going to LA. So that's just my first and foremost. And it was not like the decision thing, so it wasn't like hated as much. So I think Cleveland people understood. They gave him a championship.
He won a championship.
Yeah. But we're gonna take a short break right now. When we get back, we'll finish up Sunday. We'll get on some Monday's games as well. And we'll get more on that when we return.
Are you looking for the very best NFL and college football podcast? Then check out the GSMC Football Podcast. Get the latest football news both on and off the field. From the NFL Draft to trades to the rumor mill to the NFL Combines. They got you covered. That's GSMCpodcast.com/football-podcast. Get updates on college rivalries, game day insights, and much, much more. It's football talk the way you want it. This show eats, sleeps, and breathes football. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
And welcome back to the GSMC Basketball Podcast. We just are talking about every game that's happened since Saturday, the 3rd of November. We are moving on. We just talked about the Raptors and Lakers game. Now we're going to the Timberwolves and Trailblazers on Sunday, the November 4th game. Trailblazers win this one 111-81. Damian Lillard again helping his team win. 18 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. CJ McCollum playing great himself. 16 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Nurkic, their center, 19 points, 12 rebounds. That's what you want from your center, especially in the rebound department. As for the Timberwolves, they could have done a lot better. I mean, Karl-Anthony Towns only had 5 rebounds. You only score 81 points in one game in the NBA. That's very small.
Yeah, that's weird in today's NBA where they're already on a pace. The whole NBA is on a pace to break the record for most points in the season by the league. But the Blazers have been playing very well. They have been surprisingly good. So
absolutely,
yeah, I am interested to see how their season plays out. But I think you need to talk about how they had no Jimmy Butler in this game. So
he claims he's playing hurt, and some people claim he's doing it because he was not traded, and he's pretty bitter about it.
He played last night, so he's back, but he didn't play Sunday.
Yeah. So moving on, the Bucks, probably the best team in the East at the moment. Would you agree?
As of right now, it's them or Toronto. It's close.
They faced the 5 straight win Kings, which is weird to say, but the Kings streak ended there as the Bucks win, 144 to 109 for the Kings. For the Bucks, it was all Giannis, 26 points, 15 rebounds, had that big poster on Sherbert, was it? Sherbert?
Kufas. Well, he had a few. But
yeah, he had multiple. Giannis actually had a triple-double, 26 points, 15 rebounds, 11 assists.
Yeah, he could have had a bigger game if that game was closer, too.
Game, yeah, and this team with Giannis looks borderline unstoppable.
He is the best player in the NBA right now. I
100% agree with that. The Kings did their best. They had some good players. Jackson off the bench from University of North Carolina. Remember him?
Mm-hmm. Justin Jackson.
Justin Jackson, yes. I was trying to remember his first name for some reason. I was blinking. 22 points himself, which off the bench is pretty good. Marvin Bagley off the bench, the second pick in the draft. 11 points, 6 rebounds. I mean, pretty solid numbers.
He's been looking good.
Yeah. Who hasn't been really looking good is Harry Giles, who was a runner-up, who was a good runner for Rookie of the Year. He's only had 4 points, 2 rebounds in 10 minutes of play. So hopefully he gets more looks later as the season continues. Moving on, we got the Grizzlies and Suns. Suns take it from the Grizzlies, 102 to 100. There was a Conley 3-point shot at the buzzer that was missed, unfortunately. And looking at this game, Booker's been on a tear himself, hasn't he? 25 points,
yeah, he's
7
a great
assists.
player.
DeAndre Ayton, the first pick in the draft, 9 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. That's pretty solid numbers for the rookie. And for the Grizzlies, they're just playing up and down this season. Would you agree?
They've been really good. They're, I believe, in the playoffs if it were to start today. The Grizzlies also played the Warriors, and you'll talk about that next. But they played the Warriors last night. They lose, but they've been playing very well. They're a surprisingly good basketball team to start the season.
I don't think they're going to finish that well, to be honest with you.
Yeah, probably not.
Magic are actually upset the Spurs 117-110 with Aaron Gordon having a game with 26 points and 8 rebounds. But also Terrence Ross off the bench with 17 points himself. Mm-hmm. So this was a very good effort from the Magic. That's
a surprising win.
DeMar DeRozan, 25 points, another great game from him points-wise. He's been on a roll. And this is just, I think it's just a speed bump for the Spurs. You're going to lose eventually. You're going to lose to some games.
Yeah, it was just, I think, a one-off. So, what is the last game?
There's 2 more games.
2.
For Sunday, at least.
Mm-hmm.
The Nets and 76ers.
That was surprising.
76ers lost handily to the Nets, 122-97.
That's not good.
Not good at all for the 76ers. Like, Ben Simmons had a great game, though. 20 points, 12 rebounds. Like, that's pretty solid numbers.
Right.
But looking at the Nets side, D'Angelo Russell had 21 points.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the lead. He tied with the most points with Hollis Jefferson, who came off the bench with 21 points himself, in this win that really was the 76ers won to lose, not the Nets won to win.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. The Sixers have been one of the most head-scratching teams so far this season. Can't really figure them out. Are they ready to take the next step? Or are they just a decent team that happens to play in the East?
Yeah, true. Then next is the Spurs and the Wizards. The Wizards take this one 108-95 and shocking no one.
Well, the Wizards have been struggling really bad. I mean,
they
get the win.
Wizards are still a playoff contending team. I don't see the Knicks in any playoff contention.
Wizards are 2-7 though. We can actually.
Can I just show you? I'm gonna list off all the points from the starting lineup. Okay.
For the Wizards or for the Knicks?
For the Knicks. 11 points, 10 points, 7 points, 6 points, 2 points.
That's like 40 points.
That is as off for your starting lineup? Really? Your most points you're going to get out of your starting guard is 11 points?
Yeah,
that's not going to work in the NBA. John Wall and Bradley Beal had 2 great games.
I can't believe the Knicks are this bad every single year when they can pretty much attract free. Like, how do they
They blame their owner, who is kind of... have you heard about him?
That he's incompetent?
That, and he also promotes his band in front of like musical concerts, like for like big time names. He opens them for them, and his album that he released with his band only sold like 100 copies worldwide.
I don't know anything about that. That's crazy. No. I know that he's known as an incompetent NBA owner. That's for sure.
Yeah, he doesn't really care about the NBA. He cares about the publicity. That allegedly, that's my opinion.
If only you could out the owners of your teams.
Right. Oh my God, so many NBA teams would do that.
If it was like elections.
Oh my God, that would solve all the problems for like every other team in the NBA. Would it not?
Like, you've lost 4 years in a row. Well, we have a new owner.
Oh my gosh, that's brilliant. And you can run for them. Anyone can run.
Yeah,
for
an
these
elected
teams.
office.
You gotta have a basketball background though.
Well, they do this not to get off the subject of basketball, but in Europe, a lot of soccer teams are owned by the supporters, and the people who are given the president title are elected officials. So if you're like a season ticket holder, you actually have a vote. That's
brilliant.
That's for real what happens.
God,
so.
if that happened with like the NFL and NBA and MLB, there'd be so many different...
Yeah, so the president is expected to produce results or they lose their job when the next election happens.
That's fair. That's so fair.
Yep. So that's what happens in a lot of soccer clubs around the world.
But we don't get that privilege, unfortunately.
We did not.
All right.
So what happened Monday night?
On Monday Night Basketball, not football.
Probably way less watched.
Yes, absolutely. The Warriors Win again.
Warriors.
Come out and play.
I heard Draymond got hurt in that game.
Yes, after, 4 minutes of play?
Yeah, so more news on him later, but the Warriors win?
Yeah, shocking 0 people in the world.
I will
Kevin
say, though,
Durant,
the Grizzlies played them tough. They played them strong.
he played 14 minutes, Green did, before getting hurt. But Klay Thompson had 27 points, leading the team. Durant had 22. Curry had 19. That's really all there is.
I have a question for you.
Go for it.
What is your favorite Kevin Durant nickname?
How many are there?
I can think of 2, at least.
Tell me them.
Durantula and the Slim Reaper.
I've heard Snake.
Oh,
I've heard
God.
Traitor.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
I was in Oklahoma City recently. They were very angry still at him.
So which...
I like the Slim Reaper.
Yeah, Slim Reaper.
It sounds like he likes Slim Jims, though.
It's so good, though, because his shot's so deadly. And
Have you seen... He does look incredibly skinny.
Yeah, that's why Durantula's a good nickname, too, because he kind of looks he's all limbs, like a spider.
You expect a guy in the NBA, like you see LeBron, he's pretty jacked, and then Durant is...
You know what's funny, though?
stick.
Durant is actually considerably stronger looking, like at least definition-wise, than he was when he was a rookie. That's how slim he is, because when he was a rookie, he was a rail.
Tiny.
Yeah.
You could do a 50-50 grind on his arms.
That's why it took him a couple of years to kind of get at least just his body right, because the grind of the NBA season, after a while, you're going to have to get bigger. You're going to have to bulk up a little bit.
Also on Monday night, the Nuggets beat the Celtics 115-107.
Who are you, Boston? Who are you?
They're the Celtics.
Yeah, but who are you in the grand scheme of things?
They're the little leprechaun. Who is in the middle? Who's the logo guy? Is that a leprechaun?
No. He's just an Irish guy. He has like a cane.
I know a Celtic's not a person, so I can't.
He's like a standing with a cane.
That's not a cane, that's a deflated basketball.
No. His other hand.
No, I thought that was a deflated basketball, not a cane. Well, I thought he used it as a cane, but it was a deflated basketball.
A deflated basketball?
Yeah, I'll show you a bigger version of it. I'm pulling it up.
All right. But anyways, what happened?
I could have sworn it was a deflated basketball.
Oh, he has like a walking stick.
And, oh my god, my whole life is just turned upside down.
Why would it be a deflated basketball? What is this?
Because one basketball...
Deflategate? You're associating Tom Brady with the Celtics?
He used the ball as a cane. I know that sounds stupid in theory, but I thought that's what... Okay, they use the same color. They use the same color with the basketball and the cane, so it looks like it's a deflated basketball.
But
like
you thought it was a... Tom Brady was a basketball player.
So funny. That does look like a leprechaun. He's winking at me. I don't know if he's flirting with me or not.
All right. Anyways, back to the basketball.
But my whole life is turned upside down.
You'll find out other hard truths in this lifetime, I promise.
Wait, he has a pipe? No, I knew that one already.
All right.
I did that.
So let's
already.
get back to the basketball.
Okay.
Who are the Boston Celtics?
For all my life, it's been a deflated basketball.
Who are the Boston Celtics?
Wow. They're Kyrie Irving, they're Gordon Howard, they're Jason Tatum, they're Alan Horford, they're Marcus Smart, they're Larry Bird. There is a guy Bird on their team, ironically enough.
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie Irving did have 31 points this game. Jamal Murray, 48 points. Who is Jamal Murray? That's the question I want to ask you.
Hey, he's a first-round pick.
He wanted to get that 50 points. He shot a last-second shot. A desperation for 50. And Kyrie Irving was not happy.
Ow! Sorry. Somebody threw a basketball and hit me. I was in the crowd.
Oh, my God. I thought you actually hurt yourself.
No, some NBA player threw a basketball. He threw a temper tantrum, and it hit me in the back.
Yeah, it was Kyrie Irving. You were at the Celtics game in Denver?
Yeah, I came back, flew in this morning.
Well, I thought a running joke was he hit a kid.
Yeah.
Mommy, what a great game. Ow!
Yeah, what's up with that? Why is he throwing the basketball in the stands? That's messed up. I'm still not over it.
He's kind of a poor sport.
I don't understand.
He didn't like it.
I just want to know, if you're going to throw a basketball out of frustration, why don't you throw it at the guy that you're mad at? Throw it at Jamal Murray. Why don't you do something with him? Why you got to throw it in the crowd where there might be people? There might be a little kid. Maybe an older lady. She's just trying to enjoy her popcorn and drink her soda, Jeff. Why does she got to go see a grown man throw a basketball?
So now,
she's not playing.
So now our jokes go to, we make fun of his throwing at children. Now we're having him throwing at women.
That would be that. Yeah, that's mean. I mean, not everybody in the stands is a big, burly man.
But they in a percentile wise, if they're big and burly, they're going to be hit more often because they're taking up more space.
Oh, so you're talking about mass right now? Okay.
That's scientific fact.
What other games happened Monday night?
Kyrie Irving threw the ball in another city, and that city was, Utah.
That's not that far.
Yeah, Denver and Utah.
Yeah, but all things considered, pretty close. You know,
he had a break through the stadium too. As the Raptors go away and win against Utah, 124-111.
Utah Jazz, who are you?
A good team, still.
Are they?
Yes.
Struggle bus.
Toronto, who are you? A really good team.
Yeah, but Toronto's playing like a good team. The Jazz are struggling.
Kyle Lowry had 17 points, 11 assists, 17 points on the bench for Vavlit. And off the bench, 17 points for Ibaka after his 34-point great game.
Some people call him Ibaka.
That's not his name.
Oh.
It's Ibaka. Please get it right. Please respect his last name. Thank you.
Sorry.
Yeah, it was very, very rude of you, actually. I'm kind of offended.
I'm just wondering how... I'm sorry, man. But the Jazz have been disappointing. I think you have to agree with that so far.
Yeah, well, jazz music has kind of been a lackluster for
How
the
are
last
they going to
50
move from
years.
New Orleans
and
keep
meant
the Jazz
basketball
name?
Team.
How do you move from New Orleans where jazz is popular and keep the Jazz name and don't change the name? That's what I want to know.
And when your logo is not like, it's the music note. And remember when they had the cool purple jerseys in the mountains? What was that about? How was that jazz?
You know what?
By the way, I miss those jerseys.
Those
are one of my favorite jerseys ever.
I've been to Salt Lake City, never heard jazz music. Not once.
So what are they going to be called? The Utah Mormons?
The Utah Snowcaps?
The Utah Plains?
I don't know. The Utah Resort Skiers?
The Utah Avalanche?
That's Denver, though.
No, it's
Colorado for hockey.
Well, it's still gonna be. How many team names have been taken from other? Come on. Okay. The Utah Earthquake.
There's no earthquakes in Utah.
Worth a shot. What other disasters?
Thunderstorm. A blizzard. Utah blizzard.
Boom! We got it.
Yeah, Utah
blizzards. Is it blizzard or blizzards?
Blizzard. Just blizzard. Like heat.
Singular?
You know, like heat, blizzard. Yeah, like avalanche, just
the Utah cold.
Blizzard.
If blizzard doesn't work out, we can do cold because heat and cold.
Blizzard. I'm sticking with it. I think that's good.
Okay. The Utah Blizzard have lost to the Toronto Raptors. So if anyone on the Utah front office hears us, please change your name to the Blizzard. It would change up. It would make sense. Well, are there any Raptors in Toronto?
Last time I checked, there hasn't been a Raptor in a very long time.
Yeah, I guess we can't really say that, huh? Like, is there Pelicans in New Orleans?
Yeah, for sure. On the coast.
Are there Bulls in Chicago? Are there Knickerbockers in New York? I guess that makes sense then. Never mind. Are there Magic Tricks in Orleans? Yeah, there are. Are there Pistons? I know what Detroit Pistons mean. It's not the horse. It's the car.
Engine, yeah.
Yeah. Are there Rockets in Houston? Yes, there is.
Yes, there is.
What's a pacer?
Like a
you don't even know, do you?
Pacemaker. I don't know.
I don't think that's what it is. Are there Grizzlies in Memphis?
I don't believe there are.
Because it started in Vancouver, which there actually are. Pretty sure there's Grizzlies in Vancouver.
Yeah, trees and stuff. But what other games happen on
No,
Monday?
are there Hawks in Atlanta? We're going to continue with this. Are there Hornets in Charlotte?
I would
Of course there are. Are there Wizards? Are there Wizards in Washington?
I bet there are.
Are there Nets in New York, in New Brooklyn?
Yeah, basketball courts.
Are there Suns in Phoenix? Of course there is. Are there Trailblazers in Portland?
Yeah, because of Oregon Trail.
So some of them make sense. Are there Warriors in Golden
Oregon
State?
Trail, underrated game, by the way. Computer game.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. I played that game.
You have died from dysentery.
Well, I didn't.
Smallpox.
Shut up.
Sorry, Mary.
I don't have dysentery. Shut up. I'm seeing the doctor about it. Anyways, are there Golden State Warriors? Are there actual Warriors in the Golden State?
Probably. All right, come on. We got to get through these games.
I went through every team. Oh, no. Are there Kings in Sacramento?
Absolutely. Royalty everywhere.
Are there Raiders in Oakland? Wait, what? Okay, we're moving on now. Other games that have happened, we talked about the Jazz and the Raptors, right? That was yesterday's game. So now we're going Pelicans and Thunder. Are there Thunder in Oklahoma City? Mm-hmm. Okay, now we're done. We're done now. Okay, 122-116, the Thunder win this one. Anthony Davis had 20 points, 8 rebounds, but it wasn't enough. There was 26 points off the bench for Julius Randle for the Pelicans. But on the other side, Paul George, 23 points. Russell Westbrook had 17 points of his own. Rolled his ankle, though, during the game. Results of his x-ray were negative. And Schroeder off the bench had 22 points. So there was a lot of good offensive from besides Westbrook after his injury. So good things for the Thunder, bad for the Pelicans. Who are you, Pelicans?
That's what we want to know.
Moving on, we got the Knickerbockers versus the Bulls. And fun fact, the New York Knicks are just not they're actually called the Knickerbockers. That's their real name. So fun fact. Some people don't know that. The Bulls win this one 116-115.
No Bulls in Chicago.
There must be
definitely not
one.
In city limits.
Yeah, maybe they do a running of the Bulls over there. Or
yeah, I know. Yeah, they don't.
Anyways, it was double overtime this game, and Alonzo Trier had 21.3 rebounds. Good for a starter who undrafted. Well, he was pretty good in the University of Arizona. He had some wellness policy violations in Arizona, hence why he was undrafted. But he's been playing really well. Levine had 41 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists in this double overtime game. I just thinking about it, in double overtime, you get 41 points. Imagine if it was like someone that gets like 30 points a game. Wouldn't they get like 60 points this game if it was a double overtime in this circumstance? I'm just looking at other angles. And moving on, the Magic beat the Cleveland Cavaliers 102-100. Aaron Gordon once again had a good game, 23 points, 9 rebounds. Kind of led that team. George Hill led the Cavaliers in points with 22 points. Tristan Thompson, we just said he had 2 rebounds that one game. Well, this game he had 16 rebounds. He more than tripled, quadrupled. Let's see, 2 times. Let's see, like 9 would be 18. So yeah, 8. He 8 times. Why didn't I not know that? I graduated college and everything too. But
do we know for sure if you graduated?
I have my diploma.
I mean, you say
show you. I will bring you my diploma.
All right.
I have a video of me graduating. Anyways,
you're really very adamant about this. It makes me wonder if you did graduate.
I recently graduated. I know I sound kind of dumb, but all things considered.
How many games we got left for Monday night?
2.
Cool.
Heat beat the Pistons 120-115 in overtime, another overtime game. Mm-hmm. Richardson, 27 points. Dragic with 21 points himself. Wade off the bench with 18 points. Drummond, you got 25 points, 24 rebounds.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of rebounds. Blake Griffin had 24 points himself with 15 rebounds. So these two really stepped it up, but it wasn't enough as... Even Jackson, the point guard for the Pistons, had 25 points himself, and it still wasn't enough. Glenn Robinson III only had 16 points. That was the starting lineup, the 4 starters, and that still wasn't enough.
Yeah,
it really shows what more can you do right there? Come on. And the last game of of Monday is the Rockets beating the Indiana Pacers 98-94. Chris Paul with only 9 points, 5 rebounds, but 13 assists, as Harden does not get a triple-double, but he does get 28 points. And Victor Oladipo had 28 points, so he had a pretty good game himself. Mm-hmm. And anything you want to add?
No, let's take a break. When we come back, let's talk about the Lakers, Jimmy Butler, and the Wizards.
All right, we'll see you right after this.
Check out the show that's built on the MMA. From the UFC to extreme cage fighting, they got the fights covered. Check out the GSMC MMA podcast. Get the latest news on past or upcoming fights. Join us as we talk to and about some of the biggest names in the MMA, past, present, and future. When it's the fight game, there's just one show to check out. GSMCpodcast.com/MMA-podcast. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
And welcome back to the GSMC Basketball Podcast. For this, we have finished talking about every game from Saturday to yesterday. And now we go to the Lakers.
Yeah, Lakers.
Luke Walton and Magic Johnson had a meeting about his stance.
Was it friendly, or do you think it was a little bit hostile?
Maybe it started out a little hostile.
Yeah, so we know the Lakers have been struggling. They have not had the start of the season that they would have preferred to have at this juncture. I think that's fair to say. They have a lot of new players. They don't really have an identity. Jeff, they are 22nd in the league in defense.
22nd? How many teams? There's 30 teams.
So here's the problem. The way that they built this team... They built this team with a defensive mindset, right? They were supposed to be like the anti-Warriors. Like they were supposed to be a defense-first team in the NBA. And it hasn't been working out for them.
Yeah, I think they should go back to points first.
Yeah, do you think that this defense? Do you think that their defense will get better, or do you think that they just are kind of limited in terms of defensive players when it comes? Because Lance Stevenson's a defensive player. But
we got to get real. This is an offensive league, and you got to play offense. You can't really focus more on defense. That's just not how this league works anymore.
So it sounds like Tyson Chandler is going to be bought out by the Suns, and he's going to join the Lakers. Do you think that he will help? It'll be him and JaVale McGee at center, if that's the case.
Well, any addition is a good addition, basically.
Mm-hmm.
You know how I say that? Like, basically what I'm... Like, the thing is, adding depth to your team does great things. And adding that with JaVale McGee can only add up to your rebound count and add up to more points, no?
Yeah. Tyson Chandler is older now, but he's still known as a big-time defender. So, that should help. But do you think Luke Walton will finish? Do you think Luke Walton will make it to Christmas if the Lakers are floundering around 500 or maybe under?
If the Lakers are 500 or better by Christmas, he keeps his job till All-Star break at least. If he is under 500, even by one game, he is fired.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's my prediction. Take it or leave it.
Yeah, we have to remember that Luke Walton wasn't hired by Magic Johnson, so it makes sense that
he's on thin ice already.
Yeah, it makes sense that they'd want to pivot.
Magic Johnson has claimed that he's not going anywhere. That he's not thinking about firing him.
Yeah, but when you're already talking about it, right? It's like it's kind of like the whole Jerry Jones and Jason Garrett.
Yeah, we can't really
like if you're talking about it, it's a thing, right? Like
yeah, we can't take his word for it because why would he say he's gonna get fired soon before he fires him?
Like if you were doing poorly at your job and your boss was like, we're still committed to Jeff. Like you'd be like, well, they're committed to me now, but I need to get my blank together. Like I need to get my stuff.
SHIT.
Yeah. So, what are you gonna do?
Wait, are you saying you're gonna fire me? You're not the boss.
I'm the captain now.
Okay, can we stop doing that? That's a movie from like 10 years ago, it feels like. Well, not 10 years ago.
Captain Phillips? The movie was like 5 or 6 years old.
I know, it's old. That meme is old too. Can we stop doing it?
I'm the captain now.
You know I can just walk out of this room and make you do everything on your own, right?
Nope.
And just head home.
No, you can't. So, Lakers, they're struggling a little bit. We'll see what happens in their next few games. They have some tough games coming up, but they've had a tough schedule so far. Maybe they'll get back on track. It is weird to see a LeBron James team kind of struggle like this. We saw the Heat struggle, but I feel like it was different. It had a different feel. When the Heat were struggling, we all knew what was going to happen. We all knew they were going to ascend to the top of the East. We don't think they're going to ascend to the top of the West now, right? The Lakers with LeBron. I mean, they might get, second, third seed at very highest, but are you still thinking that high, or are you thinking more like they're going to struggle to make the playoffs?
They are definitely going to struggle to make the playoffs, but I think the bottom line is they're making the playoffs. Even if they're struggling right now, I still think they can make a jump to the playoffs.
Over Memphis?
Why Memphis? Why bring them up? They have nothing to do with that conversation.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're in the playoffs right now.
The season just started.
Hey, let's talk about Jimmy Butler. He played against the Clippers last night.
We've been talking about Jimmy Butler a lot.
He played against Clippers last night. He had some post-game comments where he sounded, he basically said, I'm with the T-Wolves right now. We'll see what happens, but do you think that the Clippers are still a serious player for Jimmy Butler? Or do you say it's just the Heat, really, and no one else?
Honestly, I have no clue. Because this could go any way, shape, or form. Because we have no idea where he wants to go now. Like, he keeps teasing all of this, but, what really does he want?
Yeah. I mean, he probably just wants to go somewhere warm. L.A., Miami.
It's not exactly what I meant, but yeah, sure.
L.A. or Miami sounds a lot better than Minnesota, though, wouldn't you say?
He was in Chicago at first, so yeah, I don't really blame him.
Imagine playing for the Bulls and then going to a place that's colder.
Impossible. Wait, yes it is.
You're like, well, at least the next place I play won't be cold. Wow, Minnesota? Come on.
Give me a break. And then he goes, oh, guess what? We have a new basketball team in Alaska. You're going there.
So the T-Wolves are, 3-7? It's clearly not working. Do they need to just move on quicker than later?
You mean sooner rather than later?
Sooner than later, yeah. Do they need to move on?
Give him another week. If he does well, he's been playing really well. No doubt about it.
When he's played. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And if he still is making drama with the team by next week, maybe take that 4 first-round draft picks you should have taken from the Rockets in the first place. Why would you turn out 4 first-round draft picks?
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if they're a good team and they're going to be high draft picks. That's 4 first. You get 2 first-round draft picks a year.
Houston, Miami, Clippers, those all sound like better places to live, in my opinion. But I'm biased.
I'm sorry.
I don't like the cold
weather. Why not
weather.
Houston? I'm just saying, Houston.
That's what I'm saying. I said Houston. That's a good place.
No, I'm saying why not take the trade? I'm not. I'm so confused why they said no.
Maybe because they think that it'll all work out. I don't know. There's something off. I think Karl Anthony Towns might be the player that needs to get traded the most from that team, if I'm being completely honest.
You think he's going to be the one traded?
No, I think Butler will be the one traded, but if it was up to me and it was between those two, I would trade Karl Anthony Towns. Because I think you could get just as much, if not more, for Towns. And I just like Jimmy Butler as a basketball player. I think he's a competitor. I think he just offers more. I don't think Karl Anthony Towns has it. I don't think there's something missing with him.
Do you think he's a bust?
No, he's not a bust, but I think that he's not a franchise player. There's something missing upstairs with him. I don't think he is a leader. You saw he's kind of pouts on the court sometimes. He just checks in and out too much for me to be like, that's my franchise player. Jimmy Butler, on the other hand, plays very hard. Two-way player. He's older, for sure.
He's vulgar.
But I just like his tenacity. I just think that he brings a fire and an energy. You know what I'm saying? Karl Anthony Towns, I don't think has that fire. I don't think he has that energy. I don't think it's in his DNA.
Mm-hmm. I see where you're getting at.
Like, if I had to give one of these two players a max deal, I'd give Jimmy Butler the max deal.
He doesn't have that it factor type of thing.
That's what I think. And I think that you can capitalize on Karl Anthony Towns because, Jeff, I don't know if you remembered this, but last year when the NBA did that, when they polled the GMs before last year, Karl Anthony Towns was a player that most GMs said that they'd like to build a team around. He was the young player, like under 24 or whatever it was, that they would most like to build a team around. So you could really get a lot of pieces back for Karl Anthony Towns. You could get 3 or 4 first-round picks, in my opinion. Maybe you get 2 or 3 in a player. I don't know. If I was Minnesota, though, I don't know. I don't really care for Towns. I think Wiggins is overrated as well. I think Jimmy Butler is by far their best player, in my opinion, but he'll be the one that gets moved.
Yeah, it seems it's almost destiny for it to happen.
What do you say we take a break and we come back? Some news, some injury news. A couple players went down, had x-rays. We'll tell you what came about that, who's injured, who will be back. Also news out of Cleveland. Yes, that team.
Yay, more news from Cleveland. We'll be right back right after this.
Check out the show built around the women of MMA. From the UFC to the extreme cage fighting, we got the fights covered.
Listen.
It's the Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast. The latest news of upcoming fights, discussions of previous matches. Join us as we talk to and about the biggest names in women's mixed martial arts, past, present, and future. When it's the women's fight game, you know where to listen to. The Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast.
Hello, you lovelies, and welcome back to the GSMC Basketball Podcast. We're at the final stretch for the day, and we've talked about every game that's happened since Sunday, and we've talked about Luke Walton, we've talked about Jimmy Butler. Now we're going on to the injury list. It should not be as exciting as I'm mentioning it, but who are the injured people you want to talk about?
Draymond Green.
Oh, no.
He injured himself. We all know that Draymond Green is aspiring to win Defensive Player of the Year in addition to another NBA championship. But it looks like crisis is averted on his injured foot as x-rays are negative. How big of a loss would Draymond Green be for the Warriors? Would that stop them from winning a championship? He's
their best defensive player. Well, I guess we'll see how they do without him.
Well, I mean, if he was to be gone for playoffs, though, like, would that stop them from winning a championship?
Probably not. But we'll see how they play without him, and we'll go from there.
Can we all agree that if Westbrook was out, that the Thunder wouldn't make the playoffs? Can we at least agree on that?
Yeah, we can mention that.
So good news for Thunder fans. I'm sure there's more than one, not Thunder fan, but
hello, you Thunder fan out there. How are you?
One that listens
Who's
to
a good boy?
There might be just one, to be honest with you, but
listening to us, probably
just one. Yeah,
we're not that cool.
Russell Westbrook, he rolled his ankle. He was helped off the court. Scary moment, but
just breathe, Thunder fan. I know you're having an anxiety attack.
X-ray is negative, so
take a chill.
Westbrook
take a pill in the chill. Take a chill in the pill. Take the pill with the chill.
Westbrook will be okay. He's out with a sprained ankle. I'm sure he'll be gone for a week or two. But crisis averted. He did not break anything. He did not tear anything. So he should be back. He should be back for, here in mid-February. Wow. Mid-November. Wow. So Cleveland Cavaliers.
You want to try that again?
Cleveland Cavaliers coach Larry Drew and the team have agreed to a contract to remain the interim head coach. There was a little discrepancy on it, but he will be the coach for the rest of the season.
Supposedly.
Yeah. Yeah, so Drew and his agent.
It doesn't mean like, oh, he's going to get fired, but like, I wouldn't be surprised if he got fired if his team does poorly.
Well, basically what he was negotiating was a contract in the event that they fired him because they found another coach, that now he has a buyout. So he has some protection there.
He gets money out of this.
Yes.
He didn't get, it's a
It
smart
was
business.
a partial contract, now it's
a smart
guaranteed.
business decision.
Yeah, so he was pushing for it. So he will get.
Who else would be pushing for it?
Yeah, if you're gonna coach that team, it always makes sense to get a little bit of security there. But other than that, Jeff, that's it. That's all I got for basketball. We do have some games on tonight. Some notable games.
You want to talk about them?
The Bucks and the Blazers play tonight.
I got Bucks. We're just gonna go quick lightning round.
I got Blazers in Portland.
Bucks.
I got Blazers, and then Nets at Suns.
Suns.
Yeah, Suns. Wizards at Mavericks.
Wizards.
Mavericks. Hawks and Hornets at Hornets.
Hornets.
Yeah, Hornets for me. All right, so those are the games tonight. Also, tomorrow night, since we do our podcast on Tuesday and Thursday, tomorrow night, Raptors at Kings, Thunder at Cavs, Pistons
I'm going to
at
go
Magic.
Kings upset.
Yeah, I say Raptors.
I got to go with one upset, right? I can't go with the obvious every time.
Thunder at Cavs. I got
Thunder at
Thunder.
Cavs. Yeah, Thunder, no question.
Pistons at Magic.
Pistons.
Magic for me. Knicks at Hawks.
Hawks.
I got Knicks. Spurs at Heat.
Spurs.
Yeah, same. Sixers at Pacers.
Sixers.
Pacers.
Stop oppositing me.
Sixers can't win it on the road. Nuggets at Grizzlies.
Nuggets.
Nuggets. Bulls and Pellies.
Pelicans.
Pelicans. Mavericks at Jazz.
Jazz.
Jazz for sure.
If Jazz lose this game, I put them on a very dangerous
In
note.
the ESPN game for Wednesday night, Timberwolves at Lakers.
Ooh. Let's go Timberwolves.
I got Lakers, but it should be a good game. It'll be very interesting as these two teams.
Hence why I went, ooh, as in this is going to be interesting.
These two teams are at crossroads in their seasons, it seems like, but we'll see what happens. Other than that, that's the basketball podcast. Please check out the GSMC Podcast Network. Football, sports, baseball, soccer, fantasy
Croquet.
football.
No, I'm kidding.
Cricket. No cricket. I'm just kidding. But we have other podcasts. Please check them out. I hope to see you on
Begging
Thursday.
you, please. But yes, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you on Thursday for the basketball podcast. But tomorrow we have sports, baseball, and soccer coming at you. We'll see you then.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.